Have you ever had that feeling like there's something big lurking just beneath the surface of your everyday life, waiting for you to discover it? Maybe you've sensed a quiet power inside you that can't be explained by your usual routines. Turns out, you're onto something. Today, I'm here to show you that everything, yes, literally everything is energy. And once you know that, the doors to your true potential fly wide open. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that blends quantum discoveries, mind-bending realities, and everyday wisdom to help you awaken the power you already hold. From the tiniest bit of matter to the biggest galaxy in the cosmos, everything exists as vibrating energy fields. Picture the universe as a massive ocean made of rippling, swirling currents. You, me, the phone in your hand, even the thoughts in your head, it's all part of that ocean. We're like waves dancing on the surface. But here's what makes it so incredible. Since we're made of the same universal stuff, we're never truly separate from one another. No more walls dividing you and me, this and that. Once you see yourself as part of a single energy field, your perspective shifts. Suddenly, you're no longer just a drop in the ocean, you're an extension of the entire ocean itself. And why is that a big deal? Because it means you're not a passive observer in a random world. You're an active participant, influencing and shaping the very energy that forms reality. When you recognize your innate ability to do this, you step into a level of power many people never even realize they have. As amazing as this energy field is, our minds don't show it to us directly. Imagine wearing tinted glasses. Those lenses filter the light, changing how you see the world. Similarly, your brain filters the endless stream of energy signals it receives every single second. It decides which ones to highlight and which ones to push to the background. Why does it do that? Long ago, our ancestors needed to focus on spotting threats and finding food. Brains that filtered information effectively were more likely to keep their owners alive. So we inherited a mental spam filter that automatically tosses out details it deems unimportant. But here's the kicker: sometimes it filters out the very possibilities that could lead us to extraordinary breakthroughs. Think of a radio. If you're only tuned to one station, you might not realize there's an entire spectrum of music, news, and talk shows available just a small turn of the dial away. Learning to adjust the filter your mental dial lets you pick up on subtle energies and insights you never knew were there. Ever taken up a new hobby or skill and felt like an uncoordinated baby deer? Maybe it was dancing, learning a musical instrument, or trying to speak a new language. Initially, your brain works overtime and everything feels forced. But keep at it long enough and a magical moment arrives. You enter the flow state. Your body and mind sync up. Movements become graceful. Words emerge smoothly. The music flows without you having to think about every note. What changed? Neuroplasticity, the brain's astonishing ability to rewire itself based on new experiences. At first, your neurons are forging brand new paths. But as you practice, those paths strengthen and widen. Eventually, the skill that once felt impossible becomes second nature. This same principle applies to energy work. If you feel clumsy when you first try to sense or direct energy, that's normal. Keep at it. Over time, you'll develop mental pathways that make connecting with and influencing energy as natural as breathing. You won't need to strain. It'll feel like you've known how to do it all along. Have you ever felt drained and thought, "I need more energy," only to grab another cup of coffee or down an energy drink? It might perk you up for a bit, but the boost doesn't last. Why? Because the real issue isn't that you don't have enough energy, but that you're not using the energy you already have in the best way. Think of your life like a bucket with tiny leaks. Your energy is constantly seeping out through stress, worry, and useless mental chatter. You might pour more in, but as long as those leaks remain, you'll never feel truly energized. The solution is learning to seal the leaks by directing your current energy more wisely. It's like discovering you've had a sports car in your garage all this time. You just need to learn how to drive it without slamming on the brakes. We typically split our minds into two categories: the conscious mind, our everyday thoughts, and the unconscious, the hidden stuff we rarely notice. But this separation is more like a delicate membrane than a brick wall. Ever had that moment when you solve a tough problem in your sleep, or find yourself humming a tune you haven't heard in years? That's your unconscious mind bubbling up to the surface. By building a stronger bridge between these two mental realms, you gain access to a treasure trove of insights, creativity, and yes, energy. Instead of ignoring your gut feelings or random flashes of inspiration, you start listening. You treat them like friendly messengers, guiding you towards solutions your conscious mind might miss. The result? You tap into a deeper reservoir of power that most people never realize they have. You become adept at sensing the flow of energy around you, not just at a logical level, but in a full-bodied, intuitive way. Quantum physics shows us that particles at the smallest scale behave in totally counterintuitive ways. They can be in multiple states at once. They can entangle with another particle far away, so that what happens to one instantly affects the other even faster than the speed of light. Simply observing a particle can change its path. Let's unpack that a bit. Think of it like a coin that could land on both heads and tails at the same time. It doesn't decide which side to show until someone looks. This is mind-blowing for our usual sense of logic. But these strange rules aren't just for subatomic particles. Researchers are finding more and more ways quantum effects pop up in larger systems, even in the biology of living organisms. For us, it's a reminder that reality isn't always what it appears to be. There's a hidden layer of possibility woven into everything, a web of potential outcomes waiting to manifest. And we're not just passive observers, we're active co-creators. Every intention, every focused thought can ripple into the quantum field, influencing outcomes in ways our everyday thinking rarely acknowledges. One of the most stunning lessons from quantum physics is the observer effect. The act of watching, measuring, or even just paying attention to a particle changes how it behaves. This is like trying to see if your dog is stealing food when you're not looking. The moment you peek, the dog behaves differently. Your observation has altered the scenario. In practical terms, this means your focus impacts your reality. Think about when you're anxious and expect something to go wrong. That expectation can lead you to make subtle choices, posture, tone of voice, how you phrase your words that actually invite mistakes or misunderstandings. Your worry becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. On the flip side, focusing on positive, constructive outcomes doesn't guarantee life will never throw curveballs, but it does change the way you approach them. You stand taller, you speak with assurance, and you open yourself to creative solutions. Your observation shapes your experience, just like in the quantum world. We often talk about energy moving from one place to another, like electricity traveling through a wire or heat rising from a hot stove. But in reality, energy is already everywhere, in countless forms. We're not so much shipping energy around as triggering changes within an all-pervasive field. Imagine an ocean wave. The water you see rising and falling isn't literally crossing the entire ocean. The wave is more like a pattern traveling through the water. That's what energy transfer really is, shifts in patterns across a universal field. Understanding this helps us see that we're not separate from energy. It isn't out there in some distant location, on its way to us. We're marinating in a sea of energy at every moment. Have you ever watched a baby learning to walk? They aren't stuck in their heads about how ridiculous they might look. They just toddle forward, fall, and try again. Contrast that with an adult who's been told, you're clumsy or you can't dance. Our learned beliefs create invisible walls we rarely question. These are perception prisons, mental cages forged by past experiences and social conditioning. Each time you challenge a self-limiting belief, like deciding you can dance or that you can learn math, you chip away at those prison walls. Sure, it's scary stepping beyond your comfort zone, but that's where real growth happens. Before you know it, the walls aren't even there anymore. They're just illusions you used to believe in. Picture a mirror that doesn't just show you your reflection, but reveals multiple versions of you, each living out a different possibility. One version might show you feeling anxious, another brimming with confidence, another deeply focused, and so on. In quantum terms, these parallel possibilities exist as potential states. Now, think of each version in the mirror as a channel in the energy field. When you bring your attention to one possibility like calm confidence, you strengthen that signal, that version of reality. It's like flipping between different TV channels. You can't watch them all at once, so whichever channel you tune in to becomes your experience. What's truly profound is that by simply switching your mental or emotional focus, you can move from one version of events to another. It's not magic. It's harnessing the power of directed intention in a universe where many paths are possible, but only some become your lived reality. The observer effect isn't just for cutting-edge physics experiments. It's in play every time you check in on your own thoughts or emotions. Have you noticed how pain can intensify the moment you think, "Wow, this hurts a lot," or how your nerves spike the instant you realize you're nervous? That's the observer effect at work. But you can also use observation as a tool for change. Simply watch your habits, maybe how much sugar you eat, or how often you pick up your phone out of boredom. Don't judge yourself harshly, just notice. Observing without judgment creates a gap, a moment of awareness that allows room for conscious choice. Instead of mindlessly scrolling social media, you could decide to read a book or go for a walk. The act of watching becomes the catalyst for transformation. We all run mental movies in our heads. You might picture yourself tripping over your words in a job interview or being turned down by someone you're hoping to impress. These movies loop automatically, often without us even realizing it. But here's the fun part. You're the director, and you can change the script. Next time you catch your mind playing a worst-case scenario, imagine hitting stop on the mental projector. Replace that negative reel with a different storyline where you speak with confidence in the interview, or you strike up an authentic conversation with someone new. This isn't about fake positivity. It's about training your brain to see possibilities rather than obstacles. Over time, these mental movies help shape your body language, emotional reactions, and yes, your actual results. Amid all these thoughts, feelings, and swirling energies, there's a quiet observer within you. It's the part of you that notices everything, like the sky, that holds both sunshine and storms. Thoughts and emotions pass through it like clouds, but the sky remains unchanged. This inner observer isn't an abstract concept. It's the awareness reading these words right now. You don't have to invent it or improve it. It's already here. The more you connect with this silent witness, the more you realize you're not just your mind. You're the container in which your entire life unfolds. Why does that matter? Because when you identify with that observer self, life's ups and downs lose some of their sting. You become more fluid, more adaptable, and more at peace, knowing that at your core, you're already whole and complete. Our brains work overtime to construct a personal version of reality that seems rock solid. But the more you learn about energy and quantum mechanics, the clearer it becomes that this solid world is more of a grand illusion. It's like a movie set with elaborate backdrops and clever lighting, real enough to immerse you, but you can still step away and realize it's all props. Social norms, money, time, even your concept of self, all of these are mental frameworks. They have their purpose, sure, but they're not unbreakable rules. Recognizing their illusory nature frees you to play with them, to reshape them as needed, or to walk away from any that no longer serve. This isn't about abandoning life's responsibilities. It's about engaging with life from a place of freedom rather than fear, knowing you can step beyond these constructs whenever you choose. One day, something might happen, a passing comment from a friend, a personal crisis, or maybe a flash of insight during a quiet moment, and you suddenly sense your potential. You grasp that there's more to who you are and what you can do. That's the spark of awakening. It can come like lightning or bloom gently over time. When it arrives, it's both exciting and intimidating. Because once you wake up to the truth that everything is energy and you're part of that grand tapestry, you can't go back to business as usual. You realize you have a say in how your life unfolds. You become responsible for guiding your mind, shaping your beliefs, and aligning your actions with the reality you want to experience. Some will question you. Others might laugh or feel threatened by your new perspective. That's okay. Not everyone is ready to see through the cracks in the facade. Stand firm in your realization, and remember you're not alone. There's a growing community of people who see life in a more expansive way, and they're out there. Is often where the real adventure begins. Because acknowledging your innate power means you can't just float along anymore. You realize you're a co-creator, not a bystander. And that kind of power is both liberating and daunting. But here's the thing, you don't have to do it all at once. Start by noticing how you can shift your mindset in small everyday moments. Maybe next time you catch yourself complaining, you can pause and ask, is there another way to see this? Or when you feel stuck, remind yourself that being stuck is just a feeling, not a permanent reality. Each small shift builds on itself, like drops of water, carving a path through stone. You might be wondering, okay, this is all fascinating, but how do I actually do it? Let's keep it simple. Breathe and observe. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and notice the sensations in your body. You might feel warmth, tingling, or a soft buzzing. That's energy. Shift your focus. Place your attention on your palms or the soles of your feet. Notice if any subtle changes occur, like a gentle pulse or heightened sensitivity. Visualize. Imagine a stream of light entering you from the top of your head, filling your body and radiating outward. This mental picture is a way to direct attention, which in turn affects energy. Practice gratitude. Feeling appreciation raises your vibrational state. Think of one thing you're thankful for and let that gratitude fill your body. Notice the energetic shift that follows. It's not about big, flashy magic tricks. Often, the most profound changes happen through small, consistent efforts. Quantum entanglement tells us that distance might be less relevant than we think. Have you ever thought of someone only to have them text you moments later? Sure, coincidence is possible, but after it happens enough, you start to wonder if there's a deeper connection. When you practice conscious intention, like visualizing a goal or sending supportive thoughts to someone far away, you're engaging with the idea that everything is linked through a universal field. You become like a node in a network, sending and receiving signals. The more you trust this connection, the more often you'll see coincidences pop up, reinforcing your belief that there's something real to it. Living with the awareness that everything is energy can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. Society isn't exactly set up to encourage this viewpoint. You'll still see news headlines screaming about how scary the world is. You'll still feel pressure to conform, to keep your dreams small and your daily life predictable. But you have a choice in how you respond. You can take breaks from the 24/7 news cycle, spend time in nature, or cultivate relationships with people who uplift your spirit. The idea isn't to deny reality's challenges, but to face them from a grounded, empowered place, knowing you're an active participant in how you experience life. So here you are, standing on the brink of a new understanding. You are energy, woven into an infinite field of possibilities. You're connected in ways you can't fully see, yet can sense when you pay attention. Your focus, your beliefs, your intentions, These aren't just mental fluff. They're creative forces shaping your life story. Where do you go from here? Anywhere you want. The secret to harnessing your quantum power is deceptively simple. Start noticing. Observe your thoughts, your emotions, the subtle shifts in your body. Experiment with small changes in perspective and see how it affects your world. Then watch as those small shifts gain momentum, opening doors you never knew were there. This is your invitation to step into a more expansive reality, one where you recognize that you're not a bystander in the game of life, but a player with real influence. If you're ready to deepen this journey, explore the techniques that help you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You'll be amazed at how quickly things can transform when you remember that everything is energy, and that includes you. Thank you for taking this journey with me today. Embrace the mysteries, trust your intuition, and never forget, the power to shape your experience rests right in the core of who you are. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep shining. The universe is listening, and more importantly, it's responding.